So I wonder why Melda Production didn't make their own modular or modulator plugin because it's a very cool feature in all their plugs to have their modulator, which is basically a set of like these parameters here, and you can add additional like modulation to just about anything going on in any part of the plugin. So, anyways, here I've created a cool little beat through using this modulation system. It's not cool, but it's more like I wanted to show how you could use an ADSR on a drum beat using the modulator. So as you can see, I have a very thin and key is messing with the detector, and normally it sounds like this. Now, what's weird about this is that so using the detector hold system created this additional tonality. So as you can hear, it sounds like the drum beat became kind of throaty, if you can imagine that, using this section here, detector hold. So I thought it was pretty cool that this was able to create an ADSR to some degree, and I had to go through advanced threshold settings to be able to, make sure it would trigger accurately, so that it would not, trigger on the incorrect parts of the rhythm. Anyways, but I did not anticipate that there would be this additional feature so this is an example with the detector hold on. Let's go ahead and enable the plugin. So this is with the detector hold on. Okay, then this is with the detector hold scaled back. So we have ADSR, and then when we add this little guy, it adds like a spectral bleed. That sound is not a sound I've really ever heard before, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed by the sound design right there. That's how happy accidents happen. You're turning something you're not supposed to be messing with, like I always do. And so anyways, that created more than what I thought. So this is the ADSR section. Sorry, I've got a new phone here. Of course, it's not focusing. This is the ADSR. And so as you can hear, I just wanted to show like a gating, because I'm thinking in terms of a post-mastering effect when I'm using this ADSR. And the only way I was able to utilize this so far was from within M Auto Dynamics EQ. And it's basically you go through the modulator utility and you click that and it opens up the modulator window, which has their LFOs and their followers and their envelopes, the randomization from the LFO, and pitch. And where I'm at is the envelope, obviously, because that's ADSR. So we have a couple different options here as well that I just wanted to show that you can control the volume, because mainly I wanted to figure it out for myself. So this is using the input gain, or I'm sorry, the output gain, and then that is being detected through the detector system using the audio, not MIDI, and so that makes it a little more tricky because you gotta finesse where the threshold engages. So anyways, once you get the detector set right and the output gain is in the parameters list, from there you can really start to mess with the true functionality of the ADSR. And ADSR is attack, decay, sustain, release. And so I wanted to be able to create a master bus plug that I could have complete control over the audio that was coming out of it. So it would be like a sort of post effect. So I could have ADSR control over a master mix. So anyways, here's an example of like a slight expansion of the envelope, so you can hear how it comes through. So it comes through a little more versus so if we do that a little more, we can really dial in all kinds of stuff. We can change the attack. You can change the smoothness so it's not so jerky. And as I go through and adjust these things, to get more of a pronounced effect, I would have to mess with the threshold settings once again. But I like them where they are, because my main thing was I wanted to be able to create a choppy effect so I could turn anything into something percussive. So that's the kind of the key point here is I'm making a percussifier or a pluckifier concept so that anything I ran through it, like say, a pad or a synth or, other instruments that aren't necessarily percussive, I could turn them into a percussive sounding instrument using this ADSR concept. And that would be later applied, to, the actual mix if I was going to use it in the mixing process, or it could be applied to the master process so that I could create a post effect so that I could have more control in the final stages to where things will stop or where things will start and affect how that happens in a rhythmic kind of way. So this is a very sophisticated part of the melda system, and I'm just doing a lot of research. I'm almost done with my guide, and it's about 100 plus pages. It's got like 20 very good in-depth reviews. It's got it covers all of them, but I just wanted to highlight mainly key ones to start with. And so I'm almost done with that. But again, the melda system is so complex, even dabbling into something like how to do this is like, oh my God, it's such an undertaking. That's why I wanted to make the guide. Now, I probably sound like a little too, confusing saying all this right now, but it'll make more sense once the guide is released, why and what that's all about. But anyways, here's just a simple way. I could probably make a shorts version of this where you just use their ADSR to control anything going through it to make it more percussive, which is going to be a little different than using a transient control, which is going to do something similar, but it's kind of missing some additional parameters to make a shape, because that's what we're trying to do here. Plus, I have all these other features. Once I get the detection honed in, I can mess with other things to then further adjust the process that I'm trying to superimpose on a pre-existing sound.